On today's review, we will be reviewing something I'm very excited to review. We are going to be reviewing Megatron. Megatron? Wait, I gotta do it this way. Megatron, I summon you. No one summons Megatron. Oh man, I am so excited to finally have this in hand. It is that of the Transformers Studio Series, Transformers the Movie 86 Megatron. And I'm very excited for this one. As you can see, the package says he transforms in 54 steps. From robot to, of course, tank mode. We got this really awesome side art right here. And then we've got the awesome back art right here showing off Megatron in both his modes and his accessories. He does come with a miniature version of him in blaster mode. And no, that is not a future blue version. This was just them kind of showing off how the gun mode works. This is not a reference to anything. And then we've got, of course, the tank mode. And then it shows off the other accessories on it. And of course it says, Megatron and the Decepticons prepare to mount a surprise attack on Autobot City. And that's the flavor text we get right there. Some more, not really anything on the side but that. But yeah, really awesome package. Let's open it up now. And here we have the amazing and evil Megatron out of package, and it just looks incredible. I already put the null ray on, or the null cannon, and the back part, that is the piece right here, which I'm really glad they were finally able to put that on a mainline Megatron. We kind of got that with Siege and Earthrise by getting a sound wave with his gun and then doing that. But it's cool how they have it be a feature where you can take it off and on. You've got the awesome sword that he uses to slash at Optimus. Do be careful when using this. I heard someone, when they were taking it out of one of the hands of the characters, I think it was this Megatron or Optimus, maybe it's just Megatron, it broke. So just be careful when you're using this accessory. I don't know, I think the break was around here between the purple part right here and the gray, so just be gentle with that. And then of course the gun mode Megatron as an accessory, which I know there's a lot of people, it's debatable. I for one like the idea of just having a one-step transformer pretty much, because I got Megatron here. Now he transforms, goes off screen, and Megatron is here. One-step transformation, really easy. I will say though, out of all the guns that we've gotten from the from the drone one to the retro ones, it is definitely lackluster. In some places, I will definitely be hoping the dramatic capture one that's coming out recently, that is the same as the drone one, but it's painted up and looks really nice. I'll probably be putting that in my Starscream's hands or my Optimus's, because they have the gripping hands, which is really one of those things where I'm excited about, where you can do that. The cannon is a little different. I noticed that it wasn't quite 100%. I don't know if that's due to it being part of the tank mode and having to be shaped like this, but there are remedies thanks to 3D printers out there. But yeah, this is just a really cool Megatron accessory. This part doesn't come off. It is all one solid piece. I think it's printed in, it's gray painted with gunmetal, and then the Decepticon logo right there. But it's impressive for an accessory. And he can hold himself like so. And then also on the back, you can actually put this part, I want to cover this real fast, in here like so. And then you can put this like this. So G.I. Joe classified, you know, all the accessories can be held on the figure, so that's really cool. It's kind of like G.I. Joe classified with that, where you can actually have Megatron holding all the accessories and they kind of tuck behind him really well. Articulation is incredible on this. We are talking mini masterpiece pretty much. You've got head movement, and it's on a ball joint, so you can get some upward look and some downward look. You can go, you know, full 360 around if you want it to. Arms, of course, have butterfly joints built into them, so it can go like that, which is awesome. And of course can do a full 360 in any direction. There is a, I believe, yeah, upper bicep swivel right here. I think that's what it is. And then of course not a full, it's about a, is that an 85-degree turn? Or it's not complete, it's not double jointed, but it's enough for a transformer in my opinion. And then of course the hands have wrist swivel. And then of course there is the hands. I'm gonna take the cannon off for now, which have a pin here so that the thumb or the index finger can move around, and then the other 3 fingers are on one hinge. So you get 1, 2, and then just 1 on this one. So that's really cool. But that's, you know, he can use a trigger. Why he didn't? Oh no, wait, no, they both. Is there a hinge? Oh, there is a hinge on the. Oh, nice. So yeah, so there is a hinge right here. So there's a hinge at the knuckle here, so it can go, it pretty much can go like this and this. So that's really cool. So that's all the arm and upper body. And then there's, of course, I gotta take the sword off so it doesn't knock into it. So the sword and the gun do, the sword specifically hits into that, so you will have to be prepared for that. But then there is a waist swivel, and due to the way the kilt skirt kind of system works, those can go up and back and can become butt flaps, so that you have more articulation. So you can do the full-on splits. He can go completely like that, which is incredible. There is a peg, a double-headed mushroom peg to have waist semi. Oh wow! Apparently, it does a lot better here. You can go all the way around that way and that way on the hip swivel there. But then when you go over here, for some reason, it kind of stops it. I don't know what's catching it. Oh, there's a piece right here that's catching it. I don't know if you can see that on camera, but yeah. And then there's of course leg bend, which can go all the way like that. Same like the arms, it doesn't go all the way. It's not double jointed, but it goes back enough. You know, Megatron, he's a beast. He's a tanky character, so that's really cool. But yeah, and then of course there is the foot rocker technology, and it does have some semi movement there, but it does pop open that part. But yeah, that is all the articulation. I'm gonna strike this guy in a pose. We'll talk a little bit more about it, and then we'll go over to the tank. And here we have Megatron in a really awesome pose, getting ready to blast some Autobots and take down Optimus Prime. And it's just a really cool, you can get him into some really awesome poses. You can get really like squatted because of the ankle hinges here and all the leg articulation. And something I want to point out that I think is really awesome is that all the tank mode is in the lower legs. Most of this is just amazing. Like, that's how we're able to get such a nice non-backpack version, but just really awesome. I love every little detail, from the paint on the chest here, when it comes to the yellow and blues and reds, the fact that they got the red on the side here and on the arms up here. I don't think we got that with some of the previous Megatrons. I just think it's cool that we have this Megatron. I know for the longest time I wanted a really good Megatron, and I thought Earthrise was that one. I went, hey, you know, we went from not having too many, you know, G1 looking Megatrons because of, you know, the reasoning behind that, to now having so many different options from the different lines. Also, something I want to point out, because of the way the hands work on the inside, there is some up and down motion because the hands flip in and go in there, which is really cool. But yeah, now I'm going to transform Megatron into his tank mode, and we will go over that real fast, and then I'll get my final thoughts on him. And after a long battle with Megatron, I finally got him into vehicle mode. That 54 steps is definitely interesting. The fact that most of the tank is in the legs is just incredible. It does have some ability to pivot the turret, but it does look kind of silly when you do so. But if you have it like this, you know, it's not too bad. But yeah, no, it's a decent tank mode. I don't know how I feel about them doing like Siege again with this. It kind of looks silly, so I'm hoping there'll be an upgrade kit or a 3D printer out there who will kind of change this area to make it look more tank accurate. There is a fan mode I'm going to show off and then give my final thoughts on it. But the vehicle mode is pretty interesting. There are 3 wheels on the bottom, as you can see there. Everything kind of, you know, packs up really nice. You do see some stuff over there and there, but that's okay overall. So I'm going to do the fan mode so you can see you pretty much take this part out. It's really cool. And here's the fan mode, taking out the giant null cannon, making the kind of, you know, hands hold the barrel. And it just looks kind of nicer, in my opinion, this way. But I'm going to be honest, once I'm done here, I'll probably keep him in robot mode. Overall, my thoughts on this, it's a really good representation of Megatron, especially in robot mode. And it still fits in the Transformers line because it does transform into something, even if that's not its original alt mode. Because I know a lot of people are like, well, why don't I just buy the red version or a YOLO Park version or any of that stuff? But for a fan who just wants a Hasbro made Megatron that has a really good robot mode and transforms into something, this is really cool. There are fan made gun modes out there. They're not the best. It's not really easy to get this into a gun mode. But you know, it's like the whole truck not monkey with Optimus Primal and Optimus Prime. It's whole gun not tank. It's one of those things where I don't really care as long as it looks good next to my Optimus in robot mode, and this does that. And I've always been lazy with the whole idea of the accessory, you know, mass transformation. So switching out my Megatron to his gun mode being an accessory and putting in Starscream's hands or Shockwave's hands or Optimus' hands has always been my go-to. I did that with Earthrise and Siege on my shelf. So I'm very excited to have a really good robot mode Megatron and a very decent tank mode Megatron, which is kind of like Devastation. So I'm really excited for that. But yeah, I give it 5 Decepticons out of 5. I think it's amazing. It's a mini masterpiece, and I'm very excited to finally have it in my collection and to get that much closer to having, you know, really decent, you know, Studio Series 86 has been giving us a lot of great characters, and we've almost got the full cast, and there's, you know, extra characters they're talking about doing now, which is really cool. I'm very excited to have this in my collection. Let me know in the comments down below what you thought of it. If you picked up one, if you're going to pick up one. He's definitely going to make it my top 10 this year just because I'm excited to have a Megatron to go against Optimus and to fit in with the rest of the figures. I'm very excited for it. Like always, hit that like, subscribe if you're not already. If you are, thank you so much, and I'll see you around in the next one. And that about wraps it up. Thanks for stopping by. If you have any comments, leave them in the comment section. If you're feeling generous, share it. And thank you so much for watching. Until next time, bye.